So I understand the pain sometimes which front-end developers goes through. We believe in quality first over quick fixes, and that we combine with the open source first mindset.
Hi, TDT readers. I'm Alka Elizabeth, and joining me today is Vidit Anjaria, Engineering Manager at QED42. In a career spanning over a decade, Vidit has served in several capacities, ranging from developer roles to engineering manager. And today he is joining us to tell us deeply into his role at QED42. Hi, Vidit.
Hi, Alka. Hello, everyone.
Yeah.
Happy to be the part of this podcast, and we'll be answering the questions coming my way.
So happy to have you as well. So we'll dive right into the question. I think, usually when we conduct an interview at the DropTimes and we have someone related to Drupal in front of us, our first question is directly about their introduction to Drupal. So when I went through your profile, it was written you're a seasoned engineering manager with profound knowledge into Drupal, who is primarily working in front-end development and architectural aspects. So I would like to know, how did you come across Drupal and why have you stayed so far?
So currently, I have been working as engineering manager, as you rightly said, and I have been managing to practice Drupal frontend and JavaScript practice at QED42, a team of 30 plus engineers. I started out as a front-end engineer only. I would say full stack engineer who was just starting the career and would like to try everything all together. I started as a full stack engineer. I have developed at the initial phase of the career. I was working as a module developers as well and a UI developer as well, responsible for theming and front-end architecture.
Mm-hmm.
And that hands-on background still shaping up, and that is helping me to how I lead today. It
Okay.
is also like yes, I have done work like at the 2 a.m. in the late night. I have been working on the front-end fixes is IE6 bugs. So I understand the pain sometimes which front-end developers goes through.
So I think we'll delve deep into your role in QED42. See, as rightly mentioned, you are an engineering manager. So what
Yeah.
does that role entail? And have your experience in the front-end development and Drupal architecture shaped the way that you work with engineering teams today?
Yes. So actually, my role typically blends between the engineering team as well as the business team,
Mm-hmm.
uh, where I need to play a different types of roles. Like I
Mm-hmm.
need to govern the delivery, as well as I need to identify the capability building areas for the team members. I need to keep myself updated with the new trends which are coming up in terms of the tech. I need to make sure that right people are aligned to the right problems on the projects. These are from the engineering side. From the business side, I need to get involved into the couple of pre-sales activities where the client interactions and the understanding the client needs, suggesting and providing the correct suggestions for the architectures they are looking for, and providing the right number of estimations and the proposal submission kind of a thing.
QD42 has built a strong reputation in the digital experience platform. It is like everyone, at least in the Drupal community, is very familiar with the organization. How would you define its core engineering philosophy, and how does that translate into the way you approach your clients and their projects?
At QED42, I think our philosophy is quite simple. We believe in quality first over quick fixes, and that we combine with the open source first mindset. And based on, since we have initiated, since the QED52 come into comments, we have been an open source first company always. We always use the open source technology, and
Mm-hmm.
we do not treat the projects or the requirements or the products which we are working on as a, what we say, the backlog
Mm-hmm.
items for that particular projects.
Mm-hmm.
But we take the consultative approach with the clients to understand that what is going to be the outcome of their requirement, who would be their end users, and how they are envisioning that the project or the products which they are building or they want to build up, how it is going to make the real impact to the end users.
Okay.
And I have one good example as well, where once a client has come up with the kind of a very lengthy requirement docs, and instead of started building it, we by having a discussion with them at the initial phase, we understand that something is they are very much enthusiastic about their product and the ideas. And when we consulted with them, turns out that the 60% of the features which they have mentioned into the requirement docs, those are the assumptions, and that those doesn't really need them. So that level of collaboration and
Hmm.
clarity we gives the client about their projects and their outcomes, and based on that they're able to achieve the enterprise grade performances, accessibility. And we always make sure that the whatever the projects we are delivering, the
Mhm.
projects are always future ready in terms of the architectures, so that
Mhm.
whenever there will be a test time, they will be able to survive.
So definitely QD42 has contributed to the broader Drupal and open source ecosystem, and there is an event upcoming. We'll get into the event later, but just as you have mentioned, you have real life examples. So do you have any example as such where your team has been involved, where a real value work has driven for the clients or the community? Can you share how your team has been involved in a real world value work? Maybe a client has approached with you a certain project and it has brought out more impact than you've been expected in the community, in the open source community or in the Drupal community? Any example of a such you can share from the top of your head, maybe?
If you talk about the open source, then it is like QED42 is having an open source mindset in their DNA.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone who is joining us are onboarding with the mindset that there will be open source contributions is a must thing for them to do or to perform.
Mm-hmm.
And committing to that, we are not only heavy contributors in Drupal ecosystem, we have been doing a very quite good amount of contributions into Next.js and the Strapi ecosystems as well.
Mm-hmm.
Apart from that, if we talk about the Drupal side only, in terms of the open source contributions, we have been doing the Drupal's contributions. Nowadays, the Drupal AI
Mm-hmm.
initiatives is quite trending. So
Mm-hmm.
we have done a quite good amount of contributions over there. We
Mm-hmm.
provide a good amount of support into Drupal AI initiatives. We have been doing quite good in Drupal core contributions. We have also launched our one of the accelerator theme as well recently, which is based on the SDC architectures. Our
Mm-hmm.
theme name is Space Design System. Users can
Yes.
definitely try out. And so, and on the community side, whatever we are building, we also try. Nowadays, the Drupal Force templates kind of a platform is also there,
Yeah.
which provides the platform. The let's say if I'm building something, and let's say if someone new in the community would like to try it out, we provide them the ready-made template so that they can just go on that
Yeah.
Drupal Force templates, click the template, spin up the site, and they will be able to see what has been developed and what how they will be able to achieve the output. Now we are not stopping here and keeping the things, the open source things in our mind. We have taken the step into the we have taken the contribution steps into the AI for the AI as well. And as you rightly said that we are going to launch an event, we are going to have an event in the coming days where all the practitioners are coming together. It is not only from the Drupal or any JS specific backgrounds. It is across
Mm-hmm.
the tech background where we will be collaborating. We will be having the knowledge sharing sessions, and we will be having the knowledge sharing sessions over there. So contributions and the open source, we believe that our goal is always in terms of contribute meaningfully, and
Mm-hmm.
also in terms of we should help new developers to adopt the technology easily, uh,
Okay.
and that will help them to keep the curiosity ignited into them and
Mm-hmm.
add real value for the community. And whatever the contributions we are making, we are not considering them as an charity. These are the investments which making tomorrow's projects easier for us as well as for all of those who are facing the similar kind of a problem statement.
So when we are discussing about this client projects and what has company delivered, we usually stick to the success part. So are there any technical or architectural decisions that did not go as planned? And is there something that your team has learned from? such a mishap? Is there an experience of such?
Now, one memorable experience was there for sure. Everyone has mishap in their career while working on the project, and we are not out of them. One experience was like we were quite enthusiastic about when headless was launched, and we
Mm-hmm.
were considering headless everywhere, including on the site which did not need it. Uh,
Oh.
at the first place, it sounded future proof that we are as we have got the API first based CMS composable architecture, we will be able to use the headless project for the sites. But
Mm-hmm.
in practice, it started creating the editorial friction. It has started giving the SEO challenges. At the time, we have to maintain the two code repos. We have to done two different deployments. We have to maintain the two caching layers. So these are a kind of a tech problems which we had to handle at that time. And
Mm-hmm.
and in parallel to that, we were not able to see the real business benefits out of that. Um,
Okay.
and I think the client was actually relieved when we recommend after a first demo, 2 weeks of time, we recommend going back to Drupal native because they were also seeing that it is not going to be fruitful to them. And their exact words were like, thank God that someone has the guts to say this finally. And that has taught us that client hire us for honesty and the transparency which we maintain with them. And and the lesson was quite clear that whatever the architectural decisions which we are taking should follow always the business outcomes and how it is going to impact the end users. It
Okay.
should not be something what we say comes out of an excitement and this is trending and let's start using it. So our mindset shifted from headless by default to choose the right level of the architecture from the beginning.
Yes, at that time. So, do you think headless is particularly relevant in 2025? Where does QD42 think that it has the greatest opportunity for an impact?
Headless definitely is going to be helpful in 2025. And if we talk specifically about 2025, then it is going to be the year of AI and AI open source and the headless for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but as I said, that every problem has its own way of evaluating it. And
Mm-hmm.
the way open source AI models are becoming mainstream, it is going to be a piece of cake for anyone to build up the websites. So
Mm-hmm.
at the time, there was a time when we were thinking that a developer would be able to describe what they want to build up in a plain English language, and someone would be able to generate the component, test it into the background, and provide the performance recommendation and such things. And nowadays, it is not at all a science fiction. We are building toward that today. There are so many tools available into the market which performs the same thing, and the convergence is already happening. I would say, open
Okay.
source AI models mean you do not need a kind of a Google's level of budget to innovate something.
Mm-hmm.
The headless architectures means your content works everywhere, not only on the web but across the channels. And when we collaborate it with the communities, that will mean you are never solving the problems alone. We Quadians, I think we want to lead from the front about this, and our strong contributions in the engineering practices like Drupal, JS, QA. Now we are extending that into AI as well.
So, when you're working on a decoupled implementations, what decision do you find most critical early in the process? Or are there any trade-offs or architectural patterns that you tend to revisit across projects?
I personally feel that while working on the project, and that too with the Drupal and the headless ecosystem, the
Mm-hmm.
most expensive mistakes that happen in the first 2 weeks of time only. And based on the experience which I have mentioned about our failure in terms of selecting the architecture, everywhere about in terms of the headless. We have learned, and now we have started asking these questions to ourselves before deciding the approach. There are certain questions like what type of site it is going to be, whether it is going to be the content heavy site or whether it is going to have the user interactions where we need the very quickest response from the website, how what type of site it is. Apart from that, the authentication layer, how the authentication layer it requires, and how many roles the site would be needing, the user roles, and how the access control needs to be managed. Apart from that, editorial workflows and the SEO strategy are two very crucial things. Because
Mhm.
when we talk about headless, sometimes the preview part, let's say if someone is creating the page, the editors is creating a page, but if it is not able to see the preview of that page, that how it is going to look like to the end
Yeah.
user, that creates a challenge for them to spin up the page, right?
Mhm.
So certain questions like this, and how much, the one of the very crucial point which we ask ourselves, that whatever the site or the project which we are going to work upon, how many integrations they are going to need. Are there any integrations? Does it really make any helpfulness to them on the website or that on their project or not? And based on that, I think trade-offs happen definitely,
Mhm.
where we need to choose between flexibility versus complexity. We also need to choose that developer productivity versus editorial control. And one of the crucial and most important thing is the cost versus scalability. We always try to make sure that we are not over engineering something. Otherwise, it will be an overkill for the client for sure to manage everything. Here, if I would give an example, that example I can give is the Mark architecture. So when I
Okay.
say Mark architecture means microservices, API first, cloud native and API headless related architecture, which have the multiple integrations, which needs the multi-channel scale.
Mhm.
Sometimes shine when we are building the enterprise kind of a platform, a
Mhm.
multi-brand ecosystem, and integration heavy platform. But for simple marketing websites, Mark architecture will be really a overkill for sure. So we always choose architecture based on the business needs from
Okay.
and not the buzzwords.
Yeah, so you definitely try not to over engineer and make it more complicated than it actually should be, is what I'm getting from it. So
Yeah.
I just wanted to ask, like tools like accelerators that it's in internal frameworks can dramatically change delivery timelines and consistency. So how has QED42 approached building such tools with, especially in complex headless environments?
See, so there are multiple tools currently available into the market. Tools like Cursor AI, Zero.dev, GitHub Copilot, which really helps to generate a very good UI component and the documentation part. Sometimes it helps to what we say in the architectural scaffolding as well. And in the QED42, now everyone means, and also as a best practices, we are also following design system like setcn. Apart from that, we have our own design system as well, which has a simple language, so that let's say if we are trying to generate the components using the llm tools, they are easy to generate the code. Let's say whether it is an XJS based or whether it is Drupal native based, whatever it could be, the tech it is nowadays. Technology, I would say, is not become a ball game altogether.
Mhm.
Nowadays, and developer has to or should work on the real problems instead of setting up the architecture, because
Mhm.
the basic things whatever we need to kickstart the project, as we are able to achieve with the AI tools which are currently available into the market, and we are heavily relying on that, and it has really and tremendously helped us to gain the next level of productivity.
Yeah, speaking of productivity, AI is making way into everything. Current workflows, personalization, even development. So how is QED42 exploring or integrating AI into its offerings? What do you see as the most promising practical use cases right now?
Can I be honest here?
Yes.
So I personally feel that 90% of the AI implementations are solutions looking for the problems which are
Really?
currently there in the market.
Yeah.
Uh, Everything gets wrapped up with the chat GPT, and
Yes.
based on that, it is giving us the output.
Yes.
Sometimes when I started evaluating the products and the ideas in that way, it drives me crazy. We were using the QED42. We use the AI for the stuff that actually matters the most. When how we have started, we have automated the accessibility testing part
Mm-hmm.
because we felt that excluding a set of users is not innovative at all. Our QA team has started generating the test cases
Mm-hmm.
because we feel that QA engineers should not should build the features. It should not write the repetitive test cases for every time for every project.
Mm-hmm.
And we have taken a very bold step in the early AI days, and we have built up one. We have pitched in one of the great idea to one of our client nowadays. It is quite popular in our tech world. That is the semantic search, because
Okay.
we were feeling that the website which we are working is a very huge NGO NPO providing consultation to the public for free, and
Mm-hmm.
they kind of having their own Google ecosystem where for whenever a user is having certain trouble, they used to come up to that website and they need to get the information out of that.
Mm-hmm.
Earlier system which we have implemented on that project was filled like a black hole to them. Users were coming, they were searching for the whatever the problems they are having, but according to the stakeholders, they are not getting the prompt response. So
Okay.
we brought in the semantic search, and
Mm-hmm.
we have provided this feature. We have launched this feature and showcased this to client. And after that, client was very happy. We did not stop there. We realized that it is the need of the current market, and we built one of our product, AI based product Altris as well, considering that why only developing a semantic search or the RAG application should take hundreds of thousands of dollars
Mm.
just in terms of the consulting. Why should semantic search require a data science team? It should not.
Okay.
Now it does not, because the product which we have launched could be a great kickstart for everyone to build up the semantic search based product, the chatbots, and the RAG applications. And
Okay.
using that, whatever the use cases they are having into these three aspects, they are able to generate a kind of a low code platform which provides the code to be used on their websites very easily. Now, our philosophy has slightly changed. AI doesn't make someone's day better, then we are doing it wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And we do not want the people to leave behind, and that's why we make sure that we keep building. And we now there are certain things we need to keep I would say democratizing little bit in terms of tech space. It is
Mm-hmm.
the product which I was talking about is not 100% open source, but
Mm-hmm.
it could be a really a great kickstart for everyone to have a look at and try out.
Okay. So I just wanted to ask personally, are you someone who follows up with the events that are happening in the Drupal community? For example, we had DrupalCon Narrow just last week. Are you keeping a keen eye on the developments that's happening, especially on the front of Drupal AI initiative or Drupal Canvas? What do you think of that?
As I mentioned, that QED42 is following the open source contributions quite regularly, and it's into QED42's DNA. So
Mm-hmm.
we pop up with all the Drupal cons, and
Mm-hmm.
even in the last Drupal cons, sorry, in the last Drupal con Asia, we have a good number of team members attended that Drupal cons. We are very well versed into the initiatives as well. I have touched base around the Drupal Force templates, where
Mm-hmm.
we have rolled out templates to use. Apart from that, our theme, which I talked about, the space design system theme, which is the recent initiatives based theme only, like the single directory components based theme.
Mm-hmm.
And the components which are readily available inside those themes can be used with the experience builder and the canvas field, which are the
Okay.
new talk of the town into the Drupal world. We are quite coping up well, and it is, I would say, coincidence that the theme name, which we have space, is a little bit in alignment with the Starshot Starshot initiative. Now
So
it is the Drupal CMS.
CMS.
Mm.
Okay. It's all in the space and stars, and
Yeah.
it's like sky is never the limit.
Yeah.
So moving on, yeah, I've continuously I've been working in this with the DropTimes for past 2 years now, and I've generally covered every other event that's happening within the Indian community as well. So QD42 is a very popular name regarding most of the Indian Drupal events, and you have been hosting Drupal Pune meetups quite frequently, and there are monthly meetups if I'm not wrong. There are online sessions, I suppose, and Oasis is going to happen next weekend. So I just wanted to ask, QD is very much involved in open source contributions. How do you think this events, the hosting of these particular events, contributing through these events has changed the community? Or what do you think is a positive change that has happened by bringing all these people together to think and discuss about Drupal and its and open source values?
I personally feel that if we would really like to grow our knowledge, then the collaboration is the best practice.
Mm-hmm,
And even if I talk about my college times, when I was in the college, the QED42 was already into the role, I guess.
mm-hmm,
But when I was also into the college, I was feeling that when I was studying alone and whenever I was studying into the collaboration always makes the things looks easy and makes the problem easy to resolve for sure. So whatever the events we have been hosted and whatever the events we are be the part of, we personally feel that we are able to solve something which is being discussed over there, or it could be a good learning for us to get started with. So
mm-hmm,
by keeping these things into mind and keeping the curiosity ignited into us, we always make sure to provide a platform, uh, whether everyone can collaborate, come together, and discuss around the interesting things which they are working on, and what we can learn or what we can share, which we have been doing. That is the core motive behind hosting and being the part of all the events.
Have you seen any positive changes within the group? Is this event attracting new people into the community? Are there curiosity regarding what's happening within the community, even outside the tech space, even outside the Drupal community? Do you hear anything of
Yes,
that sort?
yes, of course, I have seen the benefits around that. So if I talk about the Pune community specifically, uh, our CEO Dipen has started this Drupal Pune community, I think back in
Mm-hmm,
2007. Uh, at that time, everyone around the India was joining the community. Even I
mm-hmm,
think there was 25 members who has joined the community first and conducting the meetup. Since then, whatever the meetup we have conducted, we have kept couple of sessions, dedicated slots for the sessions to share the knowledge. And based on that, we have seen a good amount of capability, which are the capability building happening across the team members. And we have not only kept it till the developers or the active developers who are working into the community. Whatever the meetups we have organized, we have reached out to multiple colleges as well, so that the young generation who are working into the tech world will feel motivated and excited, and the curiosity will remain into them, and they are encouraged to join us into the meetup. At many meetup events, we have seen a good number of students joining from various colleges,
mm-hmm,
the tech backgrounds, who has appreciated the community work which we are doing. And in one of the meetup, there were 5 6 students who has really show us that how our meetup has helped them to select the career into the Drupal stream, and how well they are doing after joining our meetup, how well they are doing joining the one of the Drupal company, and how the meetup has helped them to understand the Drupal ecosystem, and how they learn Drupal, everything from the scratch. They were not having any knowledge around Drupal. So they understood everything from the meetup, and they have joined the company. So this is how the impact has been made to the various set of groups, I would say.
That is so good to know, especially it's been said that Drupal is struggling to find newcomers into the community, especially because of the big learning curve, and which we are tackling at the moment. But
Yeah.
yeah, but it's important that we have new blood coming into the community to keep it going. So moving on, I think it's high time we discuss the Oasis 25 and AI practitioners conference. The event is hosted by QED 42 featuring FreelyGive. So what can you share about the event? How excited are you and how busy are you at the time?
Currently, I'm quite occupied with the event for sure. And there are many of the things which needs to be managed. Though we have been doing, and though we have been hosting Drupal meetups and Drupal camps in Pune, this is altogether a different cause. It is completely a kind of an event where we are going to have the folks joining us from different corners of the world. We have two directors, the team lead and the director, joining us from the FreelyGive from
Yes.
UK. We have a couple of folks who are joining us from the Bangalore community as well. And it is the first kind of what we say open source AI practitioner events, which is going to bringing engineers from different ecosystems together. And our AI practitioner event is not just talks. It is going to be the engineers from across the tech, as I mentioned, and it will definitely not be specific to Next.js or the JS ecosystem or the Drupal ecosystem. We are also going to have something called a code sprints, which is a common terminology in the Drupal community,
Mhm.
but into a different way with the AI world. Because the future of the web development will not be about just choosing the sides. I think it's about identifying the right approach or bringing the best tools together.
Mhm.
Keeping these things in mind, the event is going to be, we are expecting that it will be a great success. And through your medium, I would like the interested folks to join us uh, on to the event, which is going to happen on 29th and 30th November in Pune.
Yeah, wonderful. All the best to the event, and I hope more people
Thank you.
join. And I just wanted to ask a little bit about the title of the event. I suppose it's pronounced as Oasis,
Yeah.
Oasis itself, but it's a wordplay on Oasis, the literal word, I suppose. How did you come up with the name for the event?
So we were brainstorming around the name of the event. We were naming or figuring out the acronyms for the Drupal camp. We were not able to fit anything, and then the DCP came into the picture. But
Mhm.
this time we have brainstorm, and now the Oasis means open source AI systems. Based on that,
Okay.
we have make it a Oasis.
Oasis. It's a
Yeah.
wonderful, wonderful name. Just wanted to say that, and I hope it's all very successful. So we have consecutive events happening in the coming years. So I think we can wrap up this conversation right here. I think it's only fair of me to ask a question that is future looking. So right now we are at the end of 2025, 2026 is just a month away. And looking ahead, there are a lot of changes that is happening within the Drupal. There are a lot of updates. People are excited. There is a much better adoption rate since I've checked last day. And how do you think this relationship of open source, AI, decoupled architecture, the Drupal CMS, Starshot, and how do you say Drupal canvas? There are a lot of changes happening. How do you see all of this coming together? And what role is QED 42 aiming to play in shaping what is coming next?
As we look ahead, it's definitely clear. I mentioned that open source AI and headless architecture are going to converging into the new foundation of the modern digital experiences for sure. And when we touch base around the headless architecture, nowadays consuming the content has not just limited to the desktop or the mobile screen.
Mm-hmm.
There are various screens or there are various channels from where we are consuming the content. Uh, and parallel to that, we are entering into a world where AI accelerates development, open source communities. We are setting up the standards. Based on that, there are CMS like Drupal, Strapi CMS, which are becoming composable in terms of delivering across the channels which I have talked about. And QED42, we are committed to shaping the future, and that's why we have never mentioned, or we have never said that QED42 is a Drupal shop or Drupal company. We always
Mm-hmm.
mention that QED42 is a digital experience company, and we take the digital forward. So we are collaborating, we are adopting the new technologies which are coming up, and we make sure, even in my introduction, that one of the responsibility is to identify the tech which are emerging, and identifying that how it could be utilized with the Drupal, and
Mm-hmm.
how much gain we will be able to get and pass it to the team members. And based on that, we are building the capability building program as well inside our QED42 ecosystem for everyone. Similarly, QED42 will be playing the role into the open source, and we will make sure that whatever the best we need to contribute, and we always make sure whatever the steps we will be taking, those steps will be into the direction to make sure that whoever is trying to learn something new will not be left behind. I can recall one of the example where even Drupal AI community, Drupal AI initiatives got started. We have been investing in AI capabilities since I think 23, mid 2023, and since then we have our AI practices as well, who is constantly working on the various problem statements. Uh, when we have uh, talked around the Drupal AI initiatives in our one of the Drupal meetup, we found that the pace which we have taken, community has not come to that point yet. So keeping those things in mind as well, we have conducted couple of webinars, conducted couple of sessions with them, so that everyone will come at one page. Otherwise,
Mm-hmm.
and as I mentioned, that growth can happen or the learning can happen best in the collaborative way. If you have a different set of brains working on the one problem or a different problems, everyone has their own point of view to resolve that problems. And by evaluating the solutions which are coming to the table, we will be able to identify, evaluate the best possible judgment, right? So we would really like to be that organization, and we are working into that direction only. I think that the next era belongs to the team that build openly, who will adopt responsibly, and innovate something without any fear. And I truly believe that together and with the collaboration, we can create the digital experiences which have never been experienced before. So this is what I believe, and this is how QED42 is planning to move forward into this space.
I wish you all the best. That's what I wanted to ask you for the time being. I think as more updates come in, we'll be able to meet again. And or someone else representing the QED to the DropTimes is always here to cover everything that's happening within the Drupal community and, if possible, open source in general. Thank you so much for your time and cooperation doing this interview. And so happy to have discussed everything we have spoken so far, and I hope I made you comfortable. So I thank you so much. And would you like to add anything else other than the things I've asked? Uh,
Nothing, just I would like to thanks DropTimes to have me here, and I really appreciate it, and really looking forward to see you again in the future interview or the podcast, whatever you name it.
all right.
Okay.
Thank you. Definitely.
Okay.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Same to you.